When Mrs. Toggle's children arrived at school in the morning, they changed in the hall from their boots to their shoes. When the bell rang, they picked up their boots and book bags and marched along to their room. They stuffed boots and book bags and they stuffed boots and bags into their cubby holes and hung up their coats. Then they sat down at their desk.
Good morning, Mrs. Toggle.
Good morning, class, said Mrs. Toggle in an unusually grumpy voice. Then the children noticed that Mrs. Toggle was still wearing her coat, the big, puffy, white colored one that she got for Christmas.
Mrs. Toggle, you forgot to take off your coat.
I didn't forget. I can't take it off because the zipper is stuck. I'm afraid it's going to be a long, hot day.
How did the zipper get stuck?
Mrs. Toggle fanned her face. How does any zipper get stuck? First, a tiny bit of cloth gets caught in it. Then you pull and keep pulling a little too hard. And before you know it, you're trapped in your coat like a hand in a cookie jar. The children gathered around Mrs. Toggle's desk to see for themselves.
Yeah, that zipper sure is stuck.
The others nodded. What's worse is this thingamajig is gone.
No, what?
This thingamajig, this thing that you pull up and down with, mine is lost.
Oh.
The children thought happily about their own coats hanging on hooks with their zippers still on them and with the thingamajig still on them.
Maybe we could help.
It's worth a try. Mrs. Toggle braced her feet on the floor. She leaned forward in her chair and held out her arms. Some children grabbed one sleeve, some the other sleeve. Paul and Nina grabbed fistfuls of collar.
Now.
And the children pulled. And they all ended up with duds and bumps in a heap on the floor. Mrs. Toggle's collar was as far as her nose, but no further than that. Paul wanted to get busy learning those timetables.
Let's go to the nurse's office. Maybe Mrs. Shack can help me.
Mrs. Toggle and the children trudged down to the nurse's office. When Mrs. Shaw saw Mrs. Toggle's hot red face, she reached for the thermometer and popped it into Mrs. Toggle's mouth. Mrs. Toggle shook her head.
I'm going to a computer. Don't tell me the thermometer in your mouth. I'll telephone your mother.
I don't use my mother.
Mouth closed. She's not sick and she doesn't live with her mother because she's a grown-up. See, Mrs. Toggle can't get off her coat because the zipper is stuck in her thingamajig is gone. Then we must pull it off. We'll add a bandage. This time we'll This time we'll add a bandage. Bandaging makes boo-boos better, but first, Mrs. Howard, we must take that for Mom and Dad.
Mrs. Stott stuck a bandage on the zipper where the thingamajig was supposed to be. Then the children pulled, and Mrs. Stott pulled, and they all ended up with bumps and things of Mrs. Stott's office.
Mrs. Toggle's collar was as far as her nose, but no further than that. Mrs. Stott shook her head. I will call the principal. She'll know what to do with you.
The principal left important matters on her desk and hurried down to the nurse's office.
Mrs. Stickler frowned when she saw Mrs. Toggle. Mrs. Toggle discussed against school rules to wear your coat all day.
I am sorry, I can't take it off because the zipper is stuck. The what? You know what's it?
Doodad. Whatchamacallit?
My students are right. The thingamajig is missing from my zipper.
The principal frowned. Mrs. Toggle, in my job, I've learned that if you want to get out of a tight spot, you must follow the rules. Make a straight line, 2 straight lines, 1 line pull on the right arm, the other pull on the left. Mrs. Shaw, be responsible for the collar. I shall pull Mrs. Toggle's feet. Did you make a straight line? That's the rule. Stay in straight line. Now get ready, get set. The children and Mrs. Shaw pulled in one direction. Mrs. Stickler pulled in the other direction. Mrs. Toggle tried to make herself small and wriggly.
But they all end up with bumps, bangs, and a kaplunk on the floor once more. Mrs. Toggle's collar was as far as her nose, but no farther than that.
Enough of this. We don't want holes in the school floor because of Mrs. Toggle's zipper. I'm calling the custodian. I'm afraid he'll have to cut that coat off.
No! Never!
The custodian, Mr. Abel, arrived wearing his big work apron, toes bulged in every pocket. He looked at Mrs. Toggle and her coat.
Is the building too cold for you? Maybe the thermostat's off. I'll go check.
No, wait. Mrs. Toggle can't get her coat off because the zipper's stuck.
Mr. Abel listened carefully.
I can see the pull tab's gone.
The what?
I said the pull tab's gone. Don't worry, I've seen worse. Mr. Abel pulled a pair of needle-nose pliers out of one huge apron pocket. He used the pliers to loosen the grip of the zipper's metal teeth on the shiny fuchsia-colored lining of Mrs. Toggle's coat.
Mr. Abel, with his large fingers, pulled the lining away from the teeth and slid the zipper down, 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 and the coat opened completely. Mr. Abel helped Mrs. Toggle take off her coat.
A happy smile spread over Mrs. Toggle's face. Mrs. Shaw and Mrs. Stickler and the children cheered.
Yippee! You should get a new pull tab for that zipper before you zip it up again. I surely will, Mr. Abel. I am forever grateful to you. The principal went back to important matters and Mrs. Shaw rushed to check a child for chicken pox. Mrs. Toggle and the children traipsed back to the room to tackle those timetables.
Mr. Abel pulled a small pen from his huge apron pocket and wrote himself a reminder. Remember to look up thingamajig in the dictionary.